welcome to come with us after. He's a great guy.
this up. Oh, I can't go yet. Hold on. I can't go. We got 6 minutes.
Okay, this thing got staticky again.
What?
Staticky again.
We'll put it back where it was.
It got static again. I was trying to fix it. What did you do? No, it was when you left. I don't know what happened.
Maybe it's me. Maybe I need to be here.
Sounds alright now.
How much do we have, Noah, until fight song? Okay. You don't want to put it back where it was before, Eric?
It was really
bad?
staticky, yeah. It sounds good here.
I'll try. I'll leave it. It's okay. I don't love it.
We should be tweeting their link too.
What?
Should we also be tweeting their link also? The video?
No. No, I mean just play the fight song like whenever the song ends. Like don't cut off in the middle of the song, but whenever the song ends or whatever, play like whenever it fits. Play the fight song and then go on. Does that make sense? Okay. I just took it out. You should see it.
What's the coach's name?
What?
DeMace?
Dan DeMacy. Dan DeMacy.
Maybe it's that.
It definitely is, but it's okay. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, that's it. Like, that's it on TuneIn Radio. There's other places to listen, but that, like, yeah, that's like the link, yeah. Do you want to use this? Not yet. Not yet. Is this in the way? That's good, right?
Text me the game card.
Thank you very much, Noah. We're ready for this matinee Saturday afternoon. They just concluded their warm-up action, and the Zamboni moves its way around the ice right now. We'll get set to begin action in just about 10 to 13 minutes here at the Fred Rust Ice Arena. Thanks for being with us. With my partner, Eric Allen, I'm Teddy Gelman. And the Blue Hens last night, Eric, a big win, 7-3, all over Pittsburgh. They got a 2-0 lead, Delaware did. And then Pittsburgh came back 2 consecutive goals. But in the end of that second period and in the third period, the Blue Hens took complete control of the game. They were able to put the scoring on top of one goal and another, and Stephen East back in net made the necessary saves. All in all, I think we said it last night in our post-game show, a very dominating win to come back at home after the break.
Yeah, definitely playing a good Pitt team. They really struggled. It looks like there's going to be a goalie change today. Their starter will be back in. But they had to go with a tandem yesterday, and neither of them played particularly well. But the Blue Hens, you have to give them credit. A bit of a slow first. Were able to get out of there with 2 goals. Then kind of lost a little bit of a step in the second, but then they were able to finish strong and come through and have a really strong third period. So this team building some confidence after a slow start. Coming back here, they were 4-6, so now 5-6 in their last 11 games. But a rough stretch here, trying to build on it and turn around with that win.
Goal scorers yesterday for the Blue Hens, Kevin Felice, Cole Zucker. That put the Hens up 2-0 in the early going. And then after 2 Pittsburgh goals, the Blue Hens came back with goals from Mike Niski, Dustin Rabinowitz, Shane Mullen had a couple, and then Niski again. Back in the net, Stephen East did not have to make too many saves. Pittsburgh, I think one of the main things we took from their game yesterday is that they really couldn't connect any passes. And the Blue Hens didn't do that in the first period, but as the game went on, they were able to move the puck defensively forward to their offense. And for Pittsburgh, they never really were able to do that. And this is a Pittsburgh team who, entering yesterday's game, did come in with an 11-5 record. They had won 2 straight, and they had won 7 of their previous 8 games. But the Blue Hens pretty much put an end to that in a dominating performance yesterday. How did the Panthers bounce back here this afternoon?
You got to look for some good goaltending and just wipe that game from your system. You can't be sitting and thinking about how bad they played, because there's a lot of things they could have done better. You said with the passing, they were trying to do these Murphy dumps, just like flipping the puck out of the zone, they're banking it off the glass softly. But the Blue Hens were able to keep a lot of pucks in at the blue line, really preventing them to clear the puck and get regrouped or make line changes. So then they had tired bodies out there, and then they get caught in their own zone, and that's really what killed them. The Blue Hens did a really good job of knocking pucks out of the air, stopping them with their skates, with their gloves, keeping pucks in the zone any way they could find a way to do it. They were pretty successful last night finding ways to do that.
Delaware head coach John Donahue was suspended a couple games due to conduct with his assistant coaches on the bench. So we talked before the game with 1988 Delaware graduate Dan DeMacy, who is going to be taking over the coaching duties tonight, along with his 2 assistant coaches. And Donahue is going to be sitting on the other side. He should be back next game after that couple game suspension. Yesterday, though, without him, the Blue Hens did seem to come out. There wasn't that much rust from Thanksgiving. Our last broadcast prior to yesterday was in the second to last week of October. So they had a lot of games on the road, and we talk about how well this team plays at home. So far this season, Delaware's 5-2 at home, 7-7 on the road. And with today's game, they'll have a few more on the road in December. But then after that, they have a lot of opportunities to get rolling here at home in January.
Yeah, they do. They're still in it for the ECSHL. And that's like the subdivision in the ACHA. So this team not as well positioned. Last year they were ranked almost the entire season. This year not ranked. They lost that ranking early in the season. With the coaching change and stuff, they had to find their groove. And coming home this home stretch, this is where they're most comfortable and where they do it the best. Pitt does now support a 4-2 record on the road, so they're not a bad road team. But the Blue Hens are a really good home team, so I think that gives them an edge here.
Well, the Blue Hens will look for their second consecutive win here at home against the University of Pittsburgh after the 7-3 victory last night. We're also on the live stream tonight with Delaware Ice Hockey and on our FM station. Stay with us. We have more pregame coverage and starting lines and opening puck drop after this. You're listening to Delaware Blue Hens Ice Hockey on 91.3 WVUD. Okay, I wasn't sure if go longer than 30. We need more. I wasn't sure if you went to break there because I didn't hear anything for a little while. Yeah. Go for like 2 minutes. We've got some time.
It's still on, even though we're...
Can you mute it?
I don't think so. I just wonder if there's a way to mute the audio.
Here, I could just...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Fred Rust Ice Arena. We're getting set to begin action here against the Pittsburgh Panthers. It's the Blue Hens in Pittsburgh in the second game of a back-to-back set here at the Rust Arena. Last night, Delaware came on top 7-3 after scoring 5 consecutive goals later in that second period into the third period. They got the lights going now, and we're ready to begin in a few minutes with Eric Allen. I'm Teddy Gelman, Noah Weinberg producing in our studio. Eric, we had the chance to talk with assistant coach Alex Rubin prior to the game, and he gave us a little bit of his keys to the game this afternoon.
Yeah, he thought this team needs to be able to put the team away. I thought they did that yesterday, 7-3 game. But they did kind of let them linger in there. This team is definitely an offensive threat. They can score, and they can score in bunches. So you want to get that lead, and you want to put them away. That brings to the second key. My own key is Steven East. He's got to play well. He played an outstanding game last time. It was 7-3, led up 3. But this team has to be able to score 4, 5, 6 goals to make sure that they win games. So that's the difference. You need to put them away early on offense and make sure you're playing good two-way hockey, helping out your goalie. And his second key, my third key, is play physical. They looked really good in the third period when they were playing a physical brand of hockey. And I think that's what they need to do from the start. They came out slow yesterday. I expect them to come out much faster here in this game.
Well, that's something that this team has done over the last 3, 4, 5 years. A very physical team that scores in bunches. There's never been a team that's lived and died by goaltender performance. Obviously, that's something that always helps, but Steven East is a smaller guy. He's not one of those bigger goalies like we saw in recent years with Patrick Rockfort and Dylan Troiano. So with this team, is going to have to find a way to score goals. They did it yesterday, and for Pittsburgh, the question that we asked ourselves all day yesterday was, how did they find a way to get offense going? Is that something that's a tangible, specific change to make on the ice, or is that more of a preparation mentality coming into the game?
And I think a big part of that is going to be the change of goalie. I believe Matt Snyder is going to be in. So the other guy had a 5.42, something close against average. And today they've got a guy coming in who sports a 2.23 with a 911 save percentage. So better goaltending is what I think we have to expect from Pitt. That he was not even dressed yesterday, so I don't know if it was just an off day or what that was. So definitely expecting better goaltending, and I expect a better game from Pitt overall. They can't be too happy with their performance yesterday, so I expect something to change.
We will have starting lines and the opening face-off in just a few minutes after they play the national anthem at the Rust Arena. With Eric Allen, I'm Teddy Gelman, and you're listening to Delaware Ice Hockey here on WVUD. We'll be back in just a few minutes to get this one started here on WVUD HD1 Newark. Welcome back to the Fred Rust Ice Arena. We're getting ready for this one between the Pittsburgh Panthers and the University of Delaware Fighting Blue Hens. Eric Allen, I'm Teddy Gelman, Noah Weinberg in studio. Last night the Blue Hens all over Pittsburgh 7-3 after scoring 5 consecutive goals after the game was tied at 2, and it's going to be up to Pittsburgh to make a change this afternoon's game. And we mentioned it before, Eric, but after the short suspension, a couple game suspension from Delaware coach John Donahue, it will be a new face back behind the bench. Dan DeMacy, we had a chance to talk to him for a couple seconds a few minutes ago. Seems like a nice guy, excited to be back there. Graduated in 1988. He played for this team, and he'll be working alongside Alex Rubin here today.
Yeah, a new old guy returning, come back to his roots here. You know, I'm excited to have back there. I don't know if he's been around this team much in the past. Definitely seems enthusiastic to be back behind the bench as a coach. You know, maybe somebody can see move back to the area or something. Definitely a possibility for this. He's not a very good head coach.
Starting lineups on the ice right now. First for the Panthers, they're going to be using, as you referenced before, not much of a surprise to us. Matt Snyder will be the goalie today. A very tough performance yesterday by Ben Serba and then Garrett Ciramello. So Matt Snyder will be back there. He's played 12 games, 10-2 record with a .911 save percentage. So Eric, this is going to be somebody who the Blue Hens are going to be, maybe based on the statistics, have their work cut out for them based on who they saw yesterday. And then back for the Panthers, for their starting line, they'll have Daniel Murs. We saw him get involved a lot yesterday. Jake Sontag. They will also have Derek Lesnick as well as Craig Mazzotta on that top line, and then defensively Joseph Rodolfi. For the Blue Hens, it's Stephen East once again.
And again, he's getting a lot of starts. A little bit more passing off last year. They're getting sequence ready. Monticello not getting much playing time. He's got a back up again tonight. And the line's pretty much the same thing he has. Zucker's line will start.
Yeah, they're going to put Zucker out there with Niski and Ken Perkowski, who we didn't see a lot in October. Perkowski will be out there with Zucker and Niski, and then in the back line, starting for the Blue Hens, will be Harrison Chuma and Mike Zadancic. It's Cub Scouts afternoon, so a lot of the Cub Scouts on the ice right now for the ceremonial puck drop between Zucker and Joseph Rodolfi, rather, and then we'll have the national anthem being played. It was a slow start in that game for Pittsburgh yesterday, but then they scored a couple goals in that second period, making this one a close game in the second, but a dominating later portion of the game for the Blue Hens to take control of it, and they'll try to make it 2 in a row against the Panthers this afternoon. They're going to play the national anthem right now at the Rust Arena, and we'll keep you here for that. James Witherite, the play-by-play voice for the D2 team. He's also made a career in horse racing. Pretty cool guy. He's going to join us in our intermission report between the first period and the second period. That was him singing the national anthem there. And now as they turn the lights back on, we'll get ready to begin this game. Eric, you referenced a few keys to the game earlier. Defensively for the Blue Hens, they did a nice job against that top line for the Panthers yesterday. You talk about Murs, Mazzota. These are guys that got very physical once they got frustrated toward the end of the game. How do they keep them in check for the second straight game?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Blue Hens, though, excel when it's a physical game. A little bit smaller, a little bit younger, but they're definitely not afraid to get in there and throw a hit. This team, they played their best when they were physical yesterday. As long as they're physical and not taking penalties, that's the key. This team takes a lot of penalties, and the Blue Hens need to stay out of the box. It's a dangerous Pitt team.
Yeah, for Delaware, this is Cole Zucker leading the way offensively. Zucker's been that guy, top to bottom, scoring, assists, activating players on offense this season as that senior leader. He scored the first or the second goal yesterday, and then we saw Mike Niski score a couple times. So Niski and Zucker oftentimes play on that same line, but they will start with Brian Ostrander, Zucker, and Cam Porkowski. We're ready to go here at the Rust Arena between the Blue Hens and the Panthers out of Pittsburgh. And the Blue Hens control the opening draw. Yesterday, Pittsburgh a little bit slow coming out of the Thanksgiving break. But Delaware got the win, and they'll look to make it 2 in a row in this back-to-back set. We don't see these every time between two teams back-to-back at the same arena. Oftentimes, you'll see a home and a home and home. So the Blue Hens will be back in Pittsburgh, but not the case here this afternoon. The Panthers ride with it into the Delaware zone early on. Just a few seconds gone by in this game. They bring it to the point, a good pass, and they put it right to the pads of Stephen East. An opportunity there for Murs, and Delaware's going to get to the puck right now. That's Harrison Chuma putting it off the boards. Porkowski and now Cole Zucker skating his way forward. He gets it to Brian Ostrander, and Delaware's going to get some fresh troops onto the ice. 50 seconds gone by in this one. Devin Jenny reaches for it for the Blue Hens, and now it goes all the way back to the Delaware zone where Tom Cascone will get it. Cascone passes it off to Niski, and the sophomore glides his way into the Pittsburgh zone. Niski, good skating, sends it around, and an opportunity off the stick of Chris Mazzella, and Mazzella came up short there. That shot was wide. A turnover. Mullen takes it back. Shane Mullen holding it now toward the middle, looking for Mazzella, and that one might have been knocked away by a Pittsburgh defender, and away come the Panthers, thrashing their way into the Blue Hen zone. That's Jacob Tepe. And Tepe is going to be bottled up right there, but maintains possession behind the Delaware cage. Brings it back to the point with defenseman Brendan Walsh. And now Walsh loses it, a possible 3-on-2 for the Blue Hens. Niski into the Pittsburgh zone, holding it, and now shooting one. It's blocked away. Mazzella brings it back to Niski. A fast-moving minute and a half here at the Rust Arena, and now Pittsburgh takes it away.
Ian is out there coming off a good game. I thought he had a really solid game. Struggled a little bit this year. Looked good in previous years, then kind of didn't look so good at the start this year. But he looked really good. He's got 2 goals now. He hit a goal yesterday, 5 assists for 7 points. So he's a guy to look at. And also, keep an eye on Kevin Felice. I thought he had a really good game yesterday. Scoring a goal.
Possible 2-on-1 for the Panthers, coming inside, and a great save by Stephen East. That was Alec Bosnick looking to beat him on the glove side, and Stephen East made the best stop of the game so far. A couple shots for the Blue Hens on the other side. That was the first one for the Panthers. Delaware with the puck in the Pittsburgh zone here. Panthers bring it back to the blue line. Delaware keeps it in though. Mike Zdancic slowly holding. Now he throws it to the center. That's off the pads of the goaltender Matt Snader.
3 times here that the Pitt team has failed to get the puck out of the zone.
There's a shot from Anderson off the pads of Snader. He's already got several saves in this one. Snader, good accolades on the score on the stat sheet this season. 233 goals against average, 911 save percentage, and a 10-2 record. The Blue Hens looking for another one, and they might have just drawn a penalty as they continued to bring the puck in, and we'll see the call from the officials.
Looks like we'll have a cross check from the official with the name on the back. Smiley. So his number 21 for the Boston Michael Plano.
A very good start for the Blue Hens skating-wise. This is not the way they started yesterday, Eric. Yesterday, a bit of a slow couple minutes. The goals that they had in that opening period, Kevin Felice did score at the 17-20 mark, but it was more of an odd man break than any sustained pressure offensively. And now the Hens on the power play here. Under the goal mouth, looking for the net, and Snader dives on it. That was Ostrander, who had an opening, but Snader might have got his stick there right in time.
Yeah, I think someone
yesterday. He has a shot from the point from Zidansek. It's blocked down, and the Panthers clear it all the way down. 30 seconds gone by on the 2-minute minor penalty to Michael Klina. Delaware skates forward now. That's Mike Niski across center ice and into the Pittsburgh zone. Niski right behind the cage, throws it to the front. A great opportunity by Zucker, and he just missed it. It might have gone off the side of the post.
I thought that went in top corner and popped out, but I guess not.
Delaware keeps it. Mullen back to the point with Niski. Gets by a Pittsburgh defender, now works it inside. It's off the pads of Snyder. Delaware looking to get it by him again. Mullen and Ostrander both there. Now they bring it back to the point, the Blue Hens do, with 1 minute to go on this man advantage. Shane Mullen's going to hold it here. 55 seconds to play here. Delaware and Pittsburgh, no score. Blue Hens on the power play here. Holding it, and now shooting it was Zidansek. Back to the point it comes to Mike Niski. He'll switch spots with Zidansek and slowly winding his way behind the cage. Now Niski will work with the backhand, looking for reinforcements, and he will successfully get it to Ostrander. Ostrander throws it right to a Pittsburgh defender, but the Blue Hens get it back. Now Niski holding onto it. Under the goal mouth, Pittsburgh takes it away, sends it all the way back down. They clear it with 22 to go on the power play.
And even though they got it to the neutral zone, it actually went all the way back down. Zidansek carried it down. So it really wasn't clear all the way down.
15 minutes and 12 seconds to go, first period, no score. Delaware and Pittsburgh, and the Blue Hens power play just about to expire here. It's got 5 seconds left on it, and Klina prepares to come out of the box. A number of shots on that man advantage for the Blue Hens, but Matt Snyder, the goaltender for the Panthers, a great job of standing tall in net, and we're back to even strength. 5 minutes gone by in this one. Ian Anderson taking it in the blue line for the Hens. Now he'll bring it on the boards, and that's touched in off the stick of Dustin Rabinowitz. And the Panthers will chase it down. They work it around their bench area. Back to the point it comes for the Blue Hens. Ian Anderson, and then it gets to Dustin Rabinowitz. And Rabinowitz holds it, looks to get it around to Redgate. And Redgate loses possession of the puck. Taking it away from him was Matt Lyons, and Lyons will bring it around the boards, sending it to a teammate, Jonathan Fair, and Fair is going to throw it right to the glove of Stephen East, and he will hold. We'll have the chance to step away for our first commercial break here with 14:19 to go in the first period. No score. Delaware and Pittsburgh. Blue Hens Ice Hockey here on 91.3 WVUD.
Monticello's in there.
Yeah. The Blue Hens and the Panthers here at the Rust Arena. First period action continuing. Thanks for tuning into our coverage here on WVUD with Eric Allen. I'm Teddy Gelman, Noah Weinberg producing in our studio. No score here. Almost midway through the first. Delaware with a number of opportunities so far in this game, and not that much for Pittsburgh to show for. Drew Torrey looking to get to it for the Blue Hens. Now Pittsburgh takes it away. They bring it down the boards, but Devin Jenny keeps it in, slowly throws it toward the cage, and it's knocked aside by the goalkeeper Snyder. Pittsburgh is going to work it around the boards and finally can get it out of the zone. Jacob Tepe gaining the Blue Hens zone. It's a 2-on-4. Tepe is there with Arthur Berman all the way to the goal mouth. Tepe and Chris Ponticello, today's goalkeeper for the Blue Hens, made the stop. Ponticello on the season. He's played 4 games. He's 2-1 with a .357 goals against average and an .893 save percentage. Tom Cascone holding on to the puck, now loses the puck, gets it back, but Pittsburgh is going to apply pressure on Cole Zucker here, right behind the Delaware goal. Ponticello calling out instructions, and the Panthers are going to come up with that one. It's Mers wrapping around, still holding it. Mers, now he's going to shoot one, and that might have been blocked down in front by Jake Sontag. Ponticello could have touched it. Nice emphasis by Mers to fire one toward the cage, and Mers is going to get it back right here. Mers right to the center, it's intercepted. That's Perkowski. Away he comes, 2-on-2. Perkowski and Ostrander. The trailer, Cole Zucker touched it, but he was a little bit late, and now Pittsburgh comes back into the Delaware side, and Delaware's defense converges. 12 minutes to go, first period here, no score. Cole Zucker battling the Pittsburgh defense right behind the Panthers' goal. Colin Emmerich takes it away. Nice work by him. Brings it back to the point. And that one is slapped in by Andrew Marciniak. Marciniak will work it to Redgate, who gets tugged down on the boards. And the puck winds right by the Pittsburgh defense. Delaware keeps it in. Harrison Chuma doing the honors. And Chuma goes to the bench for a line change. Right by the Pittsburgh goal is Colin Emmerich. Loses the puck, and Pittsburgh. Forward they come, stolen away though by Mike Redgate. Redgate gets pushed down, no penalty call. Blue Hens get back to it momentarily until Pittsburgh converges and looks to move it on out of the zone. But great work by Colin Emmerich once again to get the puck back in the Pittsburgh zone. Emmerich hands it over to Redgate, and that shot was missed. They might have went off the side of the cage. The Blue Hens looking to apply pressure again. 10:57 left in this first period, and the Panthers getting back to the puck, and they finally clear it on out. One-on-one the other way. Here they come. It's Michael Greco getting past Anderson, throwing one toward the cage, misses it.
Pitt doesn't look too dominant here so far, and having trouble getting the puck out of the zone. But on offense, when they can get the puck in, they're moving the puck well, causing trouble in the Blue Hens zone.
A shot there off the stick of Thomas King, and Stephen East touched that one with his, Ponticello, touched that one with his stick, and now the puck gets cleared all the way back down, but the Blue Hens a little slow at the line change. Luckily for them, the Panthers can't control the puck, and that'll be an icing call.
Halfway through the first period. Trying to get on the board.
Shot off the draw is no good for the Blue Hens. They've got Niski and Redgate out there, along with Shane Mullen. Devin Jenny and Tom Cascone defensively on the blue line. The puck goes all the way back down to the Blue Hens side. Ponticello touches it, spins it around the boards, but getting there first is Mers. Daniel Mers. He's got some space to wrap around, and now he's going to throw it behind the goal where Rob Schwartz looks to get to it, and the Blue Hens fail to get it out immediately. Now they get back to it across their own blue line and slowly into the Panthers zone. Shane Mullen holding on to it, now shooting one. That's high and wide. Devin Jenny getting back to it for the Hens, bringing it to Mullen, and now Mazzella inside, a little tapper, and it's held by Snyder.
Well, Snyder looking a little bit steadier here than yesterday's goalie, who was Ben Serba. And, you know, yesterday we couldn't say too much good things about how their goaltending performance was. Yeah, giving up 7 goals between the two goalies, and you really have to do better than that. Today they'll try to do that with their main guy, Matt Snyder.
Yeah, Snyder, hopefully for the Panthers, is going to be somebody to improve the goaltending play. They really struggled back there yesterday, as you mentioned. 9 minutes and 15 seconds left in this first period. No score, Delaware and Pittsburgh. It's a second game of a back-to-back set here at the Russ Arena in Newark. Delaware's defense taps this one on. Greg Jandoli into the game. He's going to bring it back to Mike Zdancic. And now Zdancic onward to Jandoli. A pass to a vacant space that is then taken by Harrison Chuma. And the puck comes all the way back into the Delaware side here. Ponticello watches Mike Zdancic tap it onward. And Greg Jandoli lets it fly back to center ice. Avoiding a big hit there was Andrew Karapi. Pittsburgh brings it back behind Ponticello and gets a line change here. 8:35 to go, first period.
Yeah, almost a huge hit. I think both tried to dodge that one.
A turnover taken away by J.D. Oddie. He had the final goal in yesterday's game, and J.D. Oddie is leading the Panthers team in points on the season. Here's Tepe moving it along to Greco, and now they bring it inside. A lot of players there, and the Blue Hens come up with it. Greg Jandoli back the other way. It's a 1-on-3, and he will wisely throw it into the Pittsburgh zone. Go to the bench for a line change. Oh, a quick opportunity for Cole Zucker, and making the save was Snyder. Now Pittsburgh 2-on-2 the other way. Looking to get into the zone was Arthur Berman, and Berman lost it. Delaware brings it all the way back. We've got a icing call here after the Panthers throw it in, and it gives us a chance to step aside with 7:55 to go here in the second. No score, Delaware Pitt on WVUD. Scoreless first period here at the Fred Rush Starts Arena. A couple opportunities for the Blue Hens and a few for the Panthers as well. It's been a good start with Eric Allen. I'm Teddy Gelman. 7:35 to go now, and the Blue Hens and the Panthers, a very fast-moving period, not a lot of stoppages. The Panthers come inside now, look to get a shot off, but the puck was rolling on Max Millen, and Milan could not bring anything to it. Now Ian Anderson working alongside Michael Greco, or rather I should say against Michael Greco, and this one is thrown in by Derek Lesnick, and the Blue Hens are going to get back to it now. It's Emmerich, but he's outnumbered, and he will get it taken away by Greco. The puck comes back to center ice. Greco slowly maneuvering his way into the Blue Hen zone. Delaware taps it forward. Falling to the ground was Andrew Marciniak, getting tangled up, and now Greco takes it back. The Panthers have it in the Blue Hen zone here as they try to work the cycle game. Greco brings it along to Max Milan. And another pass, they move it to Michael Karazi. Karazi back to the point, and they get it to Milan, and now underneath to Karazi again. They throw it in, but there's nobody home. A couple players went to the bench for a line change. Delaware gets it back. Mike Redgate in, firing a slap shot. That was blocked down before it got to the net. Shane Mullen gets it now. Mullen behind the cage, looks for Rabinowitz. A couple chips at it. It's still loose. Finally, the Blue Hens put it in! Mike Redgate finds a wide open Shane Mullen, and that was probably all started, Eric, by the push from Dustin Rabinowitz under the goal mouth, and finally Redgate gets it, throws it to Mullen, gets it in, and the Blue Hens take a 1-0 lead.
Mullen's looked really good here. He's a big body guy. He found that one right in front of the net where he lives. He's a big body. Reading the goalie that time, finding a rebound. It was kind of off the pad. He was able to draw that one and get that one in.
The Blue Hens cracked the score sheet first here in the first period with a goal by Shane Mullen, assisted by Dustin Rabinowitz and Mike Redgate, and that line was very good yesterday, and they'll keep it up here with the first period goal now. A nice pass to find Mazzella. Mazzella throwing one at the backhand, and Snyder was falling back, but somehow still made the save.
I think Snyder thought that got around him, but toe save right there.
It's Karazi back in the other way, fires one. Ponticello makes the save. Now Delaware with the 2-on-2. It's Mazzella and Niski, but a good effort by Brendan Walsh to come back for Pittsburgh to spoil that one. A lot of open ice in this game, not as much as there was yesterday. Now the Blue Hens get it back. That's Niski again. Mike Niski gains his own, looks for Mazzella, but Chris Mazzella was not expecting that puck, and it comes back to center ice. 5:20 to go here in the first period. A Shane Mullen goal, giving the Blue Hens a 1-0 lead.
Then there was a huge hit. I believe I said that was Marlon that had the hit. So I'm not sure if they're going to take one each for roughing. It looks like Tom Cascone's going to the box. And we'll see if they put a Pitt player there also. It looks like they will. It looks like that will be Pitt first. So do go to the box.
We saw this happen multiple times yesterday, but a couple of them were not just 2-minute minors, they were 10-minute roughing calls, which oftentimes does not result with a 4-on-4 game. You just sit those players out. But we are going to have 4-on-4 hockey right now. They'll put Mers and Cascone into the box. So the Blue Hens and the Panthers are going to play 4-on-4 here for 2 minutes. There's 5:05 to go in the second period, and the Blue Hens holding on to this 1-0 lead after this Shane Mullen goal. The Panthers will start with it. Across their own blue line, across the red line, and into the Delaware zone. A shot easily knocked away by Ponticello. That came off the stick of Michael Klina. Now the Blue Hens will work for it. Greg Giandoli is there, battling along the end boards with Sontag, Andrew Korapi as well. It'll come back behind Chris Ponticello. Harrison Chuma is going to collect it. 30 seconds gone by on the 4-on-4. Now Greg Giandoli comes forward. He's got Andrew Korapi. He'll throw it in, and Giandoli will go to the bench for a line change. So will Korapi, and the Blue Hens very content to play defensive hockey here on the 4-on-4. They'll get it back in their own zone with Andrew Marciniak, and he'll just toss it in. And that one will not go down for the icing.
They hit off the stick of number 17, Matt Lyons, and that played off the icing. But it is 4-4, so.
Brian Ostrander getting railed on the boards by Michael Greco. Ostrander continuing to battle for the puck, and Greco is going to receive a little bit of help from Kalina. Finally, Greco comes up with it, but Ostrander outmuscles him to get the puck. Now Anderson with it at the point. Ian Anderson back to Ostrander. Now Marciniak throwing it in. That's blocked down in front. Not able to be cleared out by the Panthers, and it's going to be tossed back in by Ostrander. Ian Anderson is going to come and pressure the Pittsburgh defense, who throws the puck high up into the air, and it's going to fall down in the Delaware side of the ice. 20 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Coming in now, it's Anderson. Inside, a good pass. Ostrander throws one, and that got by. It actually went wide of the cage. It might not have been on target at all. Now Pittsburgh gets it back with 7 seconds on the 4-on-4. It's Jacob Tepe losing the puck. Mike Redgate is going to hold on to it here, and that's going to do it for the 4-on-4. Out of the box comes both Cascone and Mers, and we're back to even strength hockey with 3 minutes to go in the period, and the Blue Hens with a 1-0 lead after the Shane Mullen goal. It's Dustin Rabinowitz now. Kind of flip it up into the air looking for Anderson. Couldn't get it to him. And now the Panthers, if they move, have a 3-on-2. But they couldn't corral the puck at first. It rolled off the stick of J.D. Oddie momentarily. And now James Felice back into the Panthers side. Felice is going to hold it and look up for help. He's got no options. He's battled on the boards. And they continue to fight for it here with 2:30 to go in the first period. About 5 players tangled up right by the Panthers bench. Finally, Tepe comes up with it. He's a big body, and he's got a lot of width to work with. Delaware steals it back, throws it in, and the Panthers will recollect defensively with 2:10 to go in the period.
They got a little bit better getting the puck out of the zone, but still can't get through the neutral zone. So the Panthers are going to have to find a way to get the puck into the offensive zone to have any type of success in this game. Nothing there. So still close game.
Clock under 2 minutes now in the first period. We're going to get a player going down, and that'll be a penalty. It's going to be on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think that's Alan Bosnick. Actually, I'm going to say it might be Michael Greco, number 10. He went down. It wasn't a tripping call, but then he made sure he took down Cascone with him, and that will draw the penalty. So the Blue Hens go to the man advantage here with 1:53 left, so they don't do anything here. They'll have 7 seconds carry over. So you want to make sure you take care of that now and get a goal going in the locker room with a 2-0 lead. Power play gets split up in half. Here, not too much overlap, so want to take advantage of this minute 50.
Cascone skates off the ice with a little smile on his face, knowing that he drew that penalty. And Delaware's offensive power play will get started here. They're right around 20% on the power play this season. This one is knocked away. Good defense by Thomas Kang. He'll clear it all the way back down, burning off about 20 seconds on the man advantage. Yesterday they had a couple opportunities. They converted one of them on the power play. The Blue Hens did. And now they'll slowly come up the ice. Devin Jenny with a little speed now. They'll move it to Emmerich. A good move. Finally, it gets to Shane Mullen. And Mullen's shot is stopped by Snyder. It was good passing from the Blue Hens. And Mullen had a good look. Snyder punches it out of play. It'll be an offensive zone draw for the Hens. 1 minute and 26 seconds left in this power play. 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the first period. Hens still up 1-0. Cole Zucker looking for Ostrander. He gets it to him. He's denied on the doorstep. Zucker gets it back. To the point he goes there. It's Zidancic. Now Zucker again. Holding it. Now shooting it. And it's blocked down by Snyder. It's loose. And the rebound is good. The Blue Hens put it in. And it appears to be Shane Mullen. That would be his second goal of the game. Right place, right time. And the Blue Hens take a 2-0 advantage.
That's where he lives, right there in the blue paint. He's rewarded there. I mean, it's sometimes a tough place to go. The Warriors that are able to go there and fight for every inch often are rewarded, as you see. Wayne Sims, the Flyers, and Patrick Hornquist of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, good analogy for the two. We're not quite a Pennsylvania team, but we draw a lot of Pennsylvania.
And you draw a lot of Pittsburgh Penguins comparisons.
Yeah, well,
you could do that when you're two-year consecutive Stanley Cup champs. The Blue Hens up 2-0. 2 goals by Shane Mullen at the 6:20 mark and then the 1:01 mark of the period. The Panthers trying to get something going before this period's over. They throw one to the cage. It's blocked down by Ponticello. The clock is now under 35 seconds left in the period. Ian Anderson's going to work it back behind the cage, and Delaware chips it on forwards. Mike Redgate gets it, and Redgate into the Panthers zone. He's going to throw it to the cage. It's off the stick of Snyder. It'll go out of play with 25 seconds on the shot clock.
Capitalize on that advantage. Into the next period. The response.
Blue Hens can't control the draw. The puck goes all the way back behind the Delaware goal, and we'll get another icing call there. And Delaware's going to get another offensive face-off here with 17 seconds to go in the period. You like these special effects they've added this year? Now they have the organ going. They have the pyrotechnics. The lights come off. A lot of new things. We got our live stream here. A lot of new technology here at the Rust Arena this year.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing the same thing in baseball. If you're not catching up with the times, going to analytics, technology, you're falling behind here. Really nice setup. I really like what they're doing.
Inside, the Hens looking for another one. It was Colin Emmerich there. They couldn't pull the trigger. Now under 10 seconds to play. Zdancic throws it back, and the Hens really fighting for another goal here. A bunch of players under the goal mouth. You got Ostrander, you got Emmerich, Karapi as well. And this team continues to pressure in front of the goal. And a lot of times that's how you get goals, by guys just pushing and bullying and battling down in front of the cage. And they've had about 5 opportunities in the final minute here of the period. Pittsburgh's going to have to hope they can make one final stop to get into the locker room.
With 17 seconds, I'm like, okay, they have one opportunity. But no, they already had 2, and they got that off the level. They're actually getting out outside of the they had 2 or 3 good opportunities right there. With 17 seconds left, and here, kind of finally intermission, up 2-0.
Well, it was a very good period for the Blue Hens. Would you agree if I said that this first period yesterday, even though they went into the intermission with a 2-0 first period lead yesterday, that this was a better period than they played yesterday?
Oh, definitely. They came out strong here, fast, physical, and they were able to get 2-1. They got 2-1 yesterday. They're playing against a lesser goalie. Two, 3 goals against average. So that's 2.23, and they already have 2 goals on it in the first period. I think it'd be a safe bet to say that they'll get at least 1 more. At some point in this game, the way the Blues are playing, they're very strong coming out. This is the team we've seen in the past come out strong. We haven't seen that so far this year at home. 4 and 6 coming into this homestand here. They look like a different team. They don't look like a team that's lost.
7 goals yesterday, 2 goals today after 1 period, and that'll do it after 20 minutes. Shane Mullen, both of the goals to give the Hens a 2-0 advantage going into the locker room. For the next 15 minutes, Noah Weinberg has our intermission report down in the WVUD studio, and we will be back in a few minutes for second period action. Delaware 2, Pittsburgh nothing. Second period after this intermission report here at 91.3 WVUD, the voice of Blue Hens Ice Hockey. Welcome back to the Fred Rust Ice Arena here on the South Campus of the University of Delaware. You're listening to Delaware Ice Hockey here on WVUD and WVUD HD1 Newark. Noah Weinberg producing in our studio with Eric Allen. I'm Teddy Gelman, and the Blue Hens in that first period. 2 goals from Shane Mullen. Chris Ponticello in net was very strong. He stopped everything that came his way. And the Delaware defense moving, transitioning into offense was good across the board here, Eric. Now, the key is going to be in the second period to maintain this offensive efficiency, because yesterday, while they did have a 2-0 lead at the first intermission, they did give up 2 goals halfway through the period, and then we had a brand new game. So, how do you think they can maintain this, especially with that offensive outburst from Shane Mullen in that period, especially getting guys down in front of the net?
They're going to stay aggressive, play a physical brand of hockey, but they also have to remain disciplined. Yesterday, they got in trouble. Taking penalties. They stay out of the penalty box. Danzig and Mullen, especially those two team leaders. Mullen had a great game today with 2 goals, coming within feet of the paint, or within inches of the paint. He was basically in the paint for both of them. So great game so far by him, going to those dirty areas and really being rewarded for his efforts.
And we did mention a little bit earlier, but it's Dan DeMacy, the 1988 Delaware graduate, who is coaching tonight's game after head coach John Donahue was suspended for a couple of games due to some conduct between him and the other coaches. So it is DeMacy and assistant Alex Rubin handling the duties for the Blue Hens coaching staff today, and it's Chris Ponticello in net. On the other side, Eric, I did think that goalie Matt Snader for the Panthers, he had a nice period. He did a good job, but overall, just a lot of shots to stop.
Blue Hens had some quality opportunities, and they were rewarded for 2 of them. So, yeah, Ponticello coming in 2-1 is his record, and playing pretty good. 357 save percentage. The Blue Hens have been kind of making Pitt look bad by them not being able to get the puck out of their zone, and that's where a lot of their goals are coming from, bad clears, stuff like that.
We're underway here in the second period. It's Chris Mazzella with the puck. He'll bring it behind the Delaware goal, and on comes Mike Zdancic, and then they'll get it to Shane Mullen, the man of 2 goals in that first period. Great job by him, and they were not goals in which the skills were really highlighted. Not to say Shane Mullen doesn't have hockey skills, but these were more of your stand in front of the goal and clean up the mess, and that's something James mentioned in the interview a couple minutes ago. These are the kind of opportunities that good teams take advantage of, and Delaware did there in that first period. Pittsburgh get the puck here behind their own goal. They'll wrap it around right now and get it past Chris Mazzella, and the Panthers look to establish some offense here with Jacob Tepe. He's been one of their facilitators, and Tepe taps it forward. Taking it now is J.D. Oddie, and Oddie brings it on, pumps the brakes, and gets tugged down by Tom Cascone, and Cascone is going to lose the puck until it comes back to the Panthers, firing one in, and Ponticello might have tapped that one out of the air and puts it somewhere else, and now the Blue Hens take it away. James Felice onward with the Blue Hens. Emmerich is there. He is not able to convert it. The puck might have been rolling on him a little bit, and now the Panthers try to get it out. They can't do it. Now Emmerich gets back to it. Can't get a shot off, and the Panthers come back 2-on-2. A developing 3-on-2. Tepe marches inside, and we'll get a whistle there with 18:20 to go in the second period.
Tom Cascone looks like he's going to go to the box for kneeing. I'm not sure if that was a good call. They called it as a tripping, but he stuck his knee out there. A little bit of a knee to knee contact with the real players and everything, but definitely a tripping, and he was called for that.
So it will be an opportunity on the power play for Pittsburgh. Cascone's been in the box already once, make it 2 times now in this game with a 2-minute minor penalty. So the Panthers started up, trying to cut into this lead. They trail 2-0. A slap shot from Murs. A blazer that did not hit on target of the goal. Now it comes out of the zone, and Murs recollects possession. shifting it forward to Craig Mazzota, and Mazzota to Jacob Tepe. Tepe past Marciniak, throws it to the center. Nobody's home. Another opportunity there, and that's missed. Mers taking the shot, and it was blocked down in front. Now Mers will bring it over to Craig Mazzota, firing one in and knocked down and saved by Ponticello, and the Blue Hens clear, and they've killed off 45 seconds of this Pittsburgh power play. The Panthers slowly come back into the Delaware zone here, but then they stall, and Cole Zucker takes it away short-handed. Zucker had a short-handed goal yesterday, and he almost got another one here today. That one goes just wide. An opportunity for him. He's always a pest for another team short-handed-wise, and Delaware's done a nice job killing this one off. Zucker gets it back again until he falls down, and there's only 35 seconds left on this power play. The Panthers are struggling to get anything going now.
He's looking really good out there.
There's a shot from Arthur Berman, no good. Delaware clears it back down. 20 seconds to go on the power play. 16:42 to go here in the second period, and Delaware leads Pittsburgh 2-0. Delaware on top of the Panthers 7-3 yesterday, looking to make it 2 in a row against this very same Pittsburgh team. And now the puck goes all the way back behind the Pittsburgh goal with 2 seconds, one, and that's it on the power play. Cascone comes out of the box. The Blue Hens penalty kill, which is just under 78% on the season, is probably going to be around 80 after this weekend, because they were great yesterday and they've been even better so far here today. But now Marciniak will bring it back to center ice, where Felice will tap it over to Colin Emmerich. And now Emmerich inside, great pass, Rabinowitz, and an even better save by Snyder. And Andrew Marciniak gets it at the point, looks to get it to Devin Jenny, and he'll get it. He'll tap it back in, but the Blue Hens can't touch it because they would have been offsides. But after the penalty, Delaware is going to be back on the power play. A great opportunity by Dustin Rabinowitz inside. Snyder made the stop, but just moments after that, we had a penalty. It'll be a cross-checking call on Jonathan Fair for Pittsburgh, and the Blue Hens power play gets back to work.
Good here in the start of the second. A little bit more lightened up with that. Still, even though they were on that penalty kill, still in control of play much of the time. We got set up much earlier than the
It's Mike Zdancic to start off with it. He'll move it to Cole Zucker. And now under the goal mouth, they're looking for Ostrander, bringing it back to Mike Niski at the point. Delaware on the power play here. Niski, great look for Zucker, denied on the doorstep. And now Pittsburgh tries to get it out. One of their players was tripped up. It was Mazzota who fell down. They wanted a call, didn't get it. And now on the other side, the Blue Hens will bring it back in, and Ostrander taps it right to the belly of Snyder, and he'll hold it there with 24 seconds gone by on the power play.
Yeah, I'm really kind of surprised that they didn't call that. It really didn't seem like a trip, something they just missed. They've got a little bit lucky in there. They're getting another penalty. For arguing the box. So I'll be looking for 3 going up there. So by arguing that non-call, the Blue Hens now go to 5-on-3 for 34 seconds. Then we'll have a 5-on-4 for the next
Well, that's a lot of time to be on the 5-on-3. Not a good decision by Antil. Sure, there probably should have been a penalty on Pittsburgh, but very often in pretty much any sport, it's not always the first penalty that gets noticed. It's the retaliation that gets noticed, and that is exactly what happens here. Antil goes into the box for that unsportsmanlike call, and it's going to be a 5-on-3. They're waiting to sort this one out. Currently, there is 4 Pittsburgh players on the ice, and it looks like the Delaware coaching staff is trying to receive an explanation. That might have been an extended penalty to the point where it's not just going to result in a 5-on-3.
Yeah, might not. It might be a 5-on-4. He'll serve something. Look at the bench. Like, you don't pull someone off. He's looking at him. Like, you don't pull someone off.
Well, they don't call anything. So it's a 5-on-4. We'll try to get an explanation if we ever get one, although with our difficult communication with the bench, find that unlikely at this point. Anyways, it's a 5-on-4 for Delaware, continuing for a minute and 25 seconds. They throw it inside, it's loose on the doorstep, and finding a way to get it out now with the Panthers. And racing forward is Derek Lesnick, and Lesnick brings it back until Devin Jenny takes it away. And now Jenny's going to restart this attack with 70 seconds left on the Delaware power play here, and 14:40 to go in the second period. The Blue Hens lead the game 2-0. Oh, a brutal collision on the boards. Mike Redgate goes down, but he comes back up. Now Korapi feeds it to Redgate, and Redgate with a little spin move loses the puck. Pittsburgh gets it, brings it down the ice, and clears it with 45 seconds left on the power play. They called a 10-minute penalty unsportsmanlike on Brooks Antel. So the 10 minutes is why they didn't factor it into the 2-minute penalty that was already in effect. Now the puck will go all the way back down to Chris Ponticello with 22 seconds to go in the second period. Mike Redgate loses it. Chris Mazzella chases it down, but Pittsburgh gets there first. And the Blue Hens a little sloppy in the last couple moments of this power play. It's about to expire.
Puck's on edge, but haven't been able to settle it down and make a good crisp pass.
Redgate turning around with it. The power play's up. We're back to even strength, but Brooks Antel cannot come out onto the ice for another about 8.5 minutes after the 10-minute unsportsmanlike call. And we got a shot there from Max Milan, and it goes wide. He had an open lane after the takeaway. And now the Panthers holding on to it in the Blue Hen zone. One of their players falls down. That was Milan, but that was more so a flop. And now Delaware gets it back. That's Dustin Rabinowitz. Tosses it up into the air, back behind the Pittsburgh goal. And the Panthers recollect it, but they give it right to Mazzella. Mazzella, a good pass. Porkowski shooting one, and it's stopped by Snyder.
Way to get over it. Just cut down the really good play there.
Yeah, Porkowski was open, and a great look by Mazzella. He's took it away and found the cutting Cam Porkowski, but Porkowski was not able to make it. A nice stop by Snyder. An offensive zone draw now for the Blue Hens. 13:05 to go, second period. Cole Zucker's got it. Looking for Ostrander. He was not able to corral the pass. Back the other way come the Panthers. They leave it off for Mers. Daniel Mers, a backhander to the center of the ice. And the Panthers player is going to be chopped down. That's going to be a penalty, and it's going to be on Harrison Chuma. Coming down hard to the ground, there was Jake Sontag, and that looked to be a pretty easy call. And now Pittsburgh is going to go on the power play. So a lot of penalties so far in the second period. Now back on the power play are the Pittsburgh Panthers here. Delaware leads it 2-0 with 12:47 to go in the second period. Off the face-off. Delaware takes it. Pittsburgh grabs it back though. Now it's loose, and Tom Cascone comes up with it off the boards. It's out of the zone and all the way back to the Pittsburgh side. On the power play, Pittsburgh has not been successful. Yeah, Cole Zucker has been a threat on the shorthanded for the Blue Hens. Now Cole Zucker is going to get it, and he chips it up into the air, out of the zone, and the Blue Hens very quickly have burned off 45 seconds of the Pittsburgh power play. Delaware playing 4-on-5 right now. It's coming forward now, the Panthers. Mazzota gains the zone. Looks for an option to pass. It's a good pass, but Milan could not control it at first. Now Tepe gets back to it, and Tepe now to Mers at the top of the zone. It's stolen away by Colin Emmerich. Emmerich short-handed all the way to the goal, and coming up with it is Snyder. James Felice was there as well, and Emmerich was kind of getting carried along there by Mers. If anything, you could give Mers credit for good defense there. there. But boy, has this Pittsburgh team struggled on the power play, and Delaware's looked almost like they've been on even strength a lot of the time with some of the shorthanded opportunities they've gotten.
Yeah, you have to give credit for that one. Never could have just dropped off that. I think that initially had a good opportunity there.
Pittsburgh trying to get a shot or some sort of momentum on the power play. Here they come. Arthur Berman, second unit now. So Berman along with Derek Lesnick, and Lesnick also there with Rodolfi. Rodolfi's going to chop one down toward the goal area, and Rodolfi comes back to it now. Lesnick. Emmerich there to spoil it. Ian Anderson as well. 17 seconds left on the Pittsburgh power play. They bring it to the point, but Brandon Walsh could not hold it in, and they come all the way back to center ice. Now 7 seconds left. It comes back to the Delaware side. They bring it back to center ice again. Harrison Chuma's out of the box in 3 seconds, and that's going to do it for the power play. Another great penalty kill by the Blue Hens, and the game clock here in the second period is down to 10 minutes and 41 seconds. The Blue Hens still leading 2-0. 2 first period goals from Shane Mullen. That's where we stand. And the Blue Hens have been dominant pretty much across the board. We can finally get a whistle and we'll step aside for a commercial break. 10:31 to go. Delaware Ice Hockey here on WVUD. Blue Hens up 2-0. Be back in a moment. Okay.
Confirm the second one? Okay. Yeah, that's what it was hard to tell if it was him or someone else for the second one.
Back here at the Fred Rust Ice Arena, Noah Weinberg in studio with Eric Allen. I'm Teddy Gelman. Delaware up 2-0. Looking for another one. Zucker trying to find Greg Giandoli, and Giandoli is forced back to the middle of the ice. Harrison Chuma, a good pass. Shane Mullen throws it back down inside. That's actually Andrew Korapi, and Korapi is going to work it to Giandoli until Pittsburgh gets it back. Whenever they've had opportunities, Pittsburgh, Eric, they have failed to connect passes, both yesterday and today. And the score, I guess, is a pretty good representation through a full game and then a period and a half. Delaware has outscored Pittsburgh now 9-3, excuse me.
Yesterday, getting puck out, so they really struggled with that. The record doesn't quite show how they've been playing. So they've played not tough teams or severe teams.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Delaware's defense with it. Harrison Chuma behind his own goal, waiting for his teammates to come around, and Chuma in a little bit of trouble. Good defense by Milan. Now Chuma's going to swing it up the ice. Greg Giandoli takes it, a backhander. The intended target was Mike Redgate, but instead Pittsburgh takes it until it's stolen back by Redgate. Into the Pittsburgh zone, Redgate loses the puck. Now it comes right to Greg Giandoli, and a quick shot handled by Snyder. This one is tapped in by Chris Mazzella. Goes well wide. And the puck rattles back to the Pittsburgh Panthers, who trailed 2-0 with 8:41 to go in the second period. Delaware won last night's game against Pittsburgh 7-3. Mike Niski holding on to it. He comes out of the zone, and that'll be an offsides, and there'll be a whistle there.
Good job by Chris Mazzella causing the turnover behind the net. Pressure from
on the ice for the Blue Hens, Tom Cascone, Devin Jenny, Chris Mazzella, Mike Niski and Shane Mullen. That Mazzella, Niski, Mullen line probably has been the best line all season, with the exception of maybe whichever line Cole Zucker is playing on. This line's got a lot of speed, and it's a very young line too. Here's a shot off the stick of J.D. Adi, and that was missed. Went wide. Tepe looking to battle back for it, but the Blue Hens outnumber him there and get to the puck. Now Mazzella lurching forward. A pass connects it to Niski. Now Mazzella gets it back, holding it, shooting one. It's blocked away. The defender Brendan Walsh with a good block. Now Cascone throws it inside. That one no good. Niski comes back to it here. 7:47 to go, second period. No scoring here in the second. 2 goals for the Blue Hens in the first. Shane Mullen gets stopped on the boards, and the puck comes back to Walsh, crossing his own blue line, crossing the center ice line, and then dumping it in, going to the bench for a line change. Chris Ponticello hasn't had to make too many stops today. He'll pass it to Devin Jenny, and Jenny a good pass to Niski, and Niski into the Pittsburgh zone, holding it now to the center, looking for Mazzella. Can't come up with a shot, but instead it comes back to Mullen. This Mazzella, Niski, Mullen line was on the ice for about a minute and a half. Finally, they get to the bench for a line change. A great shift by them. Now back the other way come the Panthers. That's Bosnick warping his way behind the cage. Back to the point it comes. And a wrist shot fired off the stick of Lyons is spoiled down in front. Now Brian Ostrander gets to it. Ostrander working along with Cole Zucker, and it's blocked down by Devin Jenny after the shot from Lyons. And back to center ice it comes. 6:47 to go, second period. This one's going to be for an icing, allowing us to take a breath with 6:43 to go in the second period. Blue Hens 2, Panthers nothing on WVUD. Less than 7 minutes to go here in the second period. A dominating game and almost 2 periods for the Blue Hens between last night and today. And with Eric Allen, I'm Teddy Gelman. Eric, we've had some pretty good, nice hockey to watch over the last night and a half, pretty much, for the Blue Hens, who have been dominating this Pittsburgh team, who came into yesterday's game with an 11-5 record. After yesterday, they've been pushed back to 11-6, but pretty much the Blue Hens have been all over them here. Not that many shots for Pittsburgh, and a lot of shots for the Blue Hens, even with the goalie change. Matt Snyder has been pretty good, but the team has just been overmatched.
Definitely helped his cause here today.
We'll get a neutral zone draw here between the Panthers and the Blue Hens. If you're just joining us, Delaware head coach John Donahue is not behind the bench today. It's his second game out. He's been suspended for involved altercation between him and the other Delaware coaches. So the man taking over the head coaching position this afternoon is Dan DeMacy, 1988 Delaware graduate, and he's working with Alex Rubin. Alex Rubin always comes up and gives us a little talks with us for a few minutes before the game, gives us his keys to the game, works with the new equipment that he's got going on. They are also live streaming this game, so we've got it on the radio, and they have the live stream for Delaware ice hockey. And the Blue Hens fans enjoying watching their team all over Pittsburgh here this afternoon. It's 2-0, although I say all over with the mindset of understanding that a goal by Pittsburgh completely changes the landscape of this game. And the Blue Hens have had opportunities, of course, to extend it, so give Pittsburgh some credit for keeping it at a 2-0 lead and not making it a larger game. And Pittsburgh maybe trying to get something going before this intermission. 5 minutes now to play. They toss it in behind the Delaware goal. And Delaware simply holds on to it for a second while the rest of their players come and help out. Andrew Marciniak A stretch pass to Colin Emmerich. Gains the zone. Now James Felice. Felice lost it momentarily, gets it back, sends it over to Emmerich. Emmerich looking for another player, but Felice couldn't get there first. Instead, Jacob Tepe takes it away. Tepe, a stretch pass down the ice, a good one, and he finds an open player. That's Berman, all the way behind the Delaware goal. Berman looking for somebody to pass it to, and he'll bring it all the way back to the point where Matt Lyons takes it there. Lyons throws it toward the goal, and a stop made by Ponticello, a follow-up opportunity by Tepe. Ponticello made that save as well. And now a turnover. It's taken away by Drew Torrey. Drew Torrey, he's got Jandoli as a trailer, and Torrey gets knifed down by the boards. A great effort to come back by Lyons, and then we will get a penalty with 4:15 to go in the second period. Yeah, Drew Torrey looks up, looks at Alex Rubin, the assistant, puts his hand on his chest and says, "That's me." And Rubin nods his head, says, "Yeah, it is you." And that's going to put the Blue Hens on the penalty kill right now. They just had a great opportunity. I really liked what I saw from Torrey and Jandoli on that last opportunity, but it stalled. And then there was a penalty, the holding cross check, I think is what they ruled it on Drew Torrey. So back to the power play goes Pittsburgh. Harrison Chuma finds Shane Mullen shorthanded, and a good poke check by the goalie, Matt Snader. Delaware looking for a shorthanded goal for the second straight game.
Mullen's the guy who was typically out there before, but now that's standing the guy with the blue line. A lot of offense out there for the Blue Hens.
Well, so far through 25 seconds of the power play, the Blue Hens have touched the puck throughout the entirety of the penalty kill. And this power play unit for Pittsburgh has really struggled between yesterday and today. In Delaware, you can tell Eric is not really respecting that power play. They're kind of cheating up a little bit, trying to tap the puck before Pittsburgh even gains the zone. And Delaware is going to come back to it right now. Harrison Chuma throws it behind the goal. Mike Zdancic gets it with 70 seconds left on the penalty kill. The Blue Hens clear it down. Cole Zucker gets to it now. A good pass across the way. Mullen off the crossbar. Shane Mullen looked for the hat trick, and he just barely missed it.
Cole Zucker intercepted the pass. He's targeted for Harrison Chuma. I just get it at the time.
Finally, Pittsburgh gets it into the Blue Hens side with 42 seconds to go on the Panthers power play. Shane Mullen, 2 goals yesterday, 2 goals today, just inches away from his third here this afternoon after that miss off the crossbar. Delaware taps it forward again. Here they come. A pass to James Felice, but it's just out of reach. Felice would have been open for the breakaway, and this Pittsburgh power play is not defending at all. And typically, those words don't make sense together. Power play, you should be working offensively, but this Pittsburgh unit, maybe only 1 shot on this power play, many more on the Delaware side short-handed wise. And now there's only 10 seconds left. Drew Torrey is going to get set to come on out of the box in a few seconds. Pittsburgh behind the Delaware goal. They finally work it to an open player. That's Craig Mazzota. An open player, a shot, and it's missed. But the rebound opportunity by Sontag was available. He couldn't make it there. Out of the box is Torrey. We're back to even strength. Delaware gets the puck. James Felice. Now 2 minutes to go in the period. Colin Emmerich getting held. He still comes up with the puck across center ice. Pittsburgh takes it back into the Delaware side, and we will get a whistle here with 1:55 to go in the second. Back for the final minute and 55 seconds of this period after the commercial break. It's Blue Hens Ice Hockey on 91.3 WVUD. Yeah. Under 2 minutes to go here in the second period. It's 2-0. Delaware leads Pittsburgh. Noah Weinberg in studio. Eric Allen alongside myself, Teddy Gelman, and the Blue Hens enjoying a nice game so far in this one. And they've had opportunities on the power play, even strength, and short-handed. Cole Zucker, Shane Mullen, real close for connecting for one on the short-handed opportunity. Now Mike Redgate throws it back down inside, and Greg Giandoli is trying to clean up the mess of that missed opportunity. Now Mike Redgate brings it back to Karapi, inside Giandoli, finally cleared all the way back down with 1 minute to play here in the second period. Pittsburgh lifts it up into the air. Devin Jenny tries to get it with his glove. Now it's on the ground. And right by the Blue Hens goal, it's chopped all the way back down. This should go for an icing, and it will not. The puck did not have enough steam on it. Devin Jenny's going to come back to it. This one's not an icing as well. They're kind of going back and forth here over the last 2 minutes. Not many shots to show for, and that's good shielding by Devin Jenny right there to hold the puck from the Pittsburgh players. And Jenny with a couple nice moves until he turns it over. The Blue Hens lucky to get back to it, though, with Tom Cascone right behind the Delaware goal with 17 seconds to go here in the period. To the point it goes for Pittsburgh. A shot off the pads of Antill. It's loose. Delaware gets back to it. And here they come, a 3-on-1. It's Mike Niski. He's got Mazzella there. Instead, he goes to Mullen, leaving it for Mazzella, and a poke check away by Snyder. And that's going to do it for the second period. And the Blue Hens will finish it off with a 2-0 lead.
Two goals yesterday, two today. So a very nice weekend for him, and Cascone over there getting mixed up for that. Separating the players. Gonna have one team lead before the other.
Well, this team had some fighting yesterday, and they ended up in several roughing calls. If you're the Blue Hens, you might as well say you can fight all you want, but we've dominated you. So this is, if anything, frustration on the Pittsburgh side. The Blue Hens, two very strong periods. They lead it 2-0 after two. We'll go down into the studio. Noah Weinberg has our intermission report for the next 15 minutes, and we'll be back for the final 20 just around 5:20, 5:25 when they begin this third period. Noah Weinberg has our intermission report after this commercial break. It's 2-0 Delaware over Pittsburgh after two periods on 91.3 WVUD. Go till 5:20. during. Do it during.